Thank you. So as Dinesh said, we are the Digestive Diseases research team and we cover gastro and hepatology. We do work together, but we also do work separately as well as two specialities. So we are based here at BRI over in the clinical research facility, and like I've said, we cover both gastroenterology and hepatology studies. So our aim, I guess as nurses, our aim is always to demonstrate our engagement in clinical research, how it leads to improvement in health outcomes and manages our patients' care and quality of life. I guess with a nursing background, that is a big aim for us. We work very closely with all the medical teams, so the consultants. In our specialist areas, we have specialist nurses in hepatitis, IBD, nutrition, so we work very closely with them. And we also work with the endoscopy staff, and we try and get them on board to get them involved as well, and to help, with their help, to promote, recruit and deliver all the research studies that we undertake. So this is a picture of the nursing team outside our Bradford Institute for Health Research. So again, it's very hard to get us all together to take a picture, so that's quite an achievement, getting us all on one photograph. There's normally someone out in clinic or whatever, so there we all are. So performance, I was asked to just put this slide in at the last minute. So I want to say thanks to Gemma, who's sat here from our research support office. We get delivered these performance slides every quarter, and it just shows our performance through the NIHR portfolio. So it's recruitment rate, so that's our last slide for the last quarter four for last year, 2008-19. So collaboratively, we did have a target of between gastro and hepatology of 209, and we managed to recruit over target with a combined annual performance. Our percentage was 121.53, so we managed to over-recruit in all our trials last year, and we're on board to do it again this year. So gastroenterology, I lead the gastroenterology team. There's myself and there's another research nurse who's not with us today. I've been a research nurse since 2002, which makes me feel really old. I've done numerous studies. I started off life down in X-ray in a dusty old cupboard, and so I've got a wealth of experience with gastrointestinal radiological studies. We also work closely with the surgeons, looking at cancer studies. But currently the big thing that we're up against here in Bradford from a gastro point of view is IBD, inflammatory bowel disease. So we have done commercial studies in the past. There's lots of new drugs coming on board that we call biologics, which are great if patients respond to them. Unfortunately, it doesn't always happen. So we're looking at long-term safety of them. And previously we've done some commercial work looking at a CTIM that we did for ulcerative colitis, which we got really good results from that. So we've also worked on endoscopy trials. Like I said, we've worked on colorectal surgical studies, and we've also worked with medical devices. So for the gastro team, we currently have 2 research nurses, myself and Wendy, and we equate to 1.6 whole-time equivalent. We've got 3 research active gastroenterologists, and we've got 3 research active colorectal consultant surgeons. We're also about to embark on a journey with a surgical trainee who's working towards a PhD, and that's with a medical device. We're also involved with the NIHR Surgical Technology Testbed. So this is a collaboration for evaluation and evidence generation in surgical settings, and that started off with 4 healthcare providers, so Bradford, Hull, Leeds and Sheffield, and it was developed jointly by the Surgical Medtech Cooperative and the main surgical centres in Yorkshire and the Humber. So what the surgical testbed does is we can provide medical technology companies with a rapid and affordable route to early and late phase evaluation of surgical technologies by facilitating the generation of an evidence base that enables the evaluation of innovation that addresses NHS priorities. So medical technical companies will be able to collect and analyse clinical performance and cost effectiveness data within an NHS setting. And we're involved in a trial at the moment with the colorectal surgeons where they're looking at the use of a dye that they can inject during the operation to see if it promotes healing, if patients have an anastomosis, to see how good the blood flow is. So that's ongoing. So this is myself, Dr. Preston, who's our gastroenterologist, and Wendy, who's the other research nurse in endoscopy. So we do spend our time between clinics, endoscopy, we use our research facility, wards, outpatients clinics. So we have a very varied job role. And I'll move you on to Sarah.
I'm just going to talk a little bit about the hepatology research team, which I'm part of, and the work that we do. Our team consists at the moment of 2 consultants, Dr. Solomon Morea and Dr. Paul Southern. We also work with junior doctors. We've got 2 research nurses, myself and Janet, and Carol, our research assistant. This is a little timeline of hepatology research here in Bradford. Over the last 13 years, as you can see, we've been involved in various research activities, starting with audits and epidemiological studies. And in 2016, the hepatology research team were proud to be the first research team in Bradford to be involved in a phase 1 first-in-human study, which was about a hepatitis vaccine with a view to curing hepatitis B. So we are involved in lots of NIHR-funded studies, but today I thought I would talk to you about our commercial studies that we've been involved in recently. We were recently involved in a study about HCV, hepatitis C, around the use of APRI to see whether patients are suitable for treatment with a particular drug. APRI is a cheap measure of advanced liver disease without the need for a liver biopsy. And the data that was produced by this study suggests that we could use the APRI threshold as an acceptable patient selection criteria to aid strategies for HCV elimination. So in poorer countries who can't afford such equipment like a FibroScan that we use, or that can't do as many liver biopsies, they will be able to give patients this treatment and know it was safe because of this study. We were one of 4 centres in the UK that took part in this study, and the research was specifically for smaller centres rather than big London centres. It's already been mentioned today about NASH, and liver disease is on the increase in the UK, and the big concern at the present is fatty liver disease. We're also involved in this study investigating this condition. Another study we've been involved with has been regarding hereditary hemochromatosis. At the moment, there's no approved therapy for hemochromatosis in this country, and the standard treatment is phlebotomy. The patient has to come in every week and have blood taken off. This treatment was a new compound developed by the sponsor, and it showed that treatment with this compound resulted in a statistically significant change in the TSAT level. So patients could have this drug rather than having to have phlebotomy. We're also currently recruiting to study with Novartis around autoimmune hepatitis. So I think probably I've already covered this, but we think hepatology research is important because we look at diseases which are prevalent in our region and of concern. We look at diseases that have a low prevalence but for which we have no good treatment, and ones that are areas of concern throughout the UK but for which we need more data. In conclusion, hepatology research continues to have a major impact in the delivery of liver service in Bradford for the community, patients, doctors and our trust. Thank you.
Last one.